Welcome to RNS. I'm Dylan. This podcast is better than Joe Rogan. Evan, who are you?
I'm Evan.
He's
Real
my
nerd stuff.
He's real nerd stuff. He's my co-host, Evan. Good intro. Today, we're gonna talk about the School of Rock. But first, a message from our sponsors. Like the video, thank you.
Black and mild.
Black and Mild, please send us your new apple flavor in bulk, and we'll review it on the podcast.
Is that a real thing?
Both of us.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, apple, yeah.
Oh.
Well, it's not, I don't know, it's not that new, I don't think. But anyways, yeah, School of Rock. Evan, do you have any cool housekeeping stuff to mention? Any things you want to talk about before we get into School of Rock?
Well, like we mentioned in the last episode, we are coming up on October, and we're going to be doing a horror month. And then I think the only thing we really have planned after that is towards the end of November and leading up to the middle of December, we're going to be reviewing all of the Raimi trilogy, the original Spider-Man movies, right before Spider-Man No Way Home. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, so that's some stuff we got coming up. Probably going to have a guest or two soon-ish. So
yeah, we may be doing that one special episode soon that you were talking about, your idea.
Yeah, it's going to be a very special episode, and we're going to have to do a disclaimer with our head in our hands at the end where we apologize to the audience.
Huh? What?
Like an after-school special.
What are we apologizing for?
How good it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How good our episode is. But yeah. Now, we got some cool, different stuff coming up, but... And also, we were mentioning right before we recorded this that we kind of want to do a shitty movie, because we kind of just been doing, like, movies we like.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you have any recommendations, leave them in the comments. Let us know what you want to, maybe hear us talk about.
Any ideas for a shitty movie?
Any ideas for a shitty movie, yeah.
Dear Evan Hansen.
Yeah.
Coming very soon.
God, that movie looks like something.
Looks amazing.
Yeah. All right, well, I think, we don't got too much to say other than, fuck Joe Rogan, JRE podcast. It's not... Oh, it's been 2 minutes. How about that? Okay. Nice. For those of you that don't know, you can't curse in the beginning of YouTube videos, or they will stunt who you're recommended to. Anyways, School of Rock, Evan. What do you want to start off with our memories, maybe our first time seeing School of Rock?
I saw it, like, around the time it came out, like, back in 2003. I don't remember how I saw it. I didn't see it in theaters or anything.
I definitely didn't see it in theaters.
Yeah, maybe
either.
On DVD or... Because I did have the DVD when I was a kid. I don't know what happened to it. I don't have it anymore.
Classic DVD.
Yeah. So I saw it first either on DVD or TV or something. But it was definitely, like, around the time it came out.
Yeah, I think I saw it probably a bit later than you did, but yeah, it's a classic childhood film.
Yeah, for sure. I remember they would always play it on... They played it both on Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network.
Well, it's a Nickelodeon movie.
Yeah. Because, I don't think it's a Nickelodeon movie, but Paramount did it, and Viacom owns Paramount. They own Nickelodeon. I always thought that was weird as a kid, because I knew that, like, that it kind of had some association with Nickelodeon when I was a kid. But I always thought it was weird because they would play on Cartoon Network also. That always tripped me out.
And I think they do the same. Well, it's just because those kids move. I don't know. It used to be on TV. Certain movies were cheaper to license out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I guess, but it is kind of weird. But I guess it's not exactly like having the Jimmy Neutron movie on Cartoon Network. It's not exactly
because it's
like
not really
but...
Nickelodeon, but it is Paramount, and yeah. And
you
I don't know. Do you consider this a kids movie? I guess we can kind of talk about that a little bit.
I think it's like.
It was played on kids' channels.
It was marketed as a kids' movie. Did they? I bet they they censored the curses probably, didn't they? On cable.
Well, there's not really too many
They say ass and.
Yeah, they're like kicks on
shit.
Ass.
I think.
I don't remember.
I think they say shit.
It's definitely nothing crazy.
Some pretty light curses.
Like he doesn't say like "fuck you, children" or anything like that. It's nothing wild. Yeah, it's like really light stuff.
But yeah, I think the most. I don't know if you mind if I mention this, but the most recent time that I watched School of Rock was when I went insane.
Oh.
I had a bit of
Why would I mind if you mentioned
I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I had a bit of a mental breakdown, and then afterwards, some of the movies I watched, I remember, were School of Rock.
I didn't know that, though, that you watched it then.
I did. I watched School of Rock, Ted, the movie Ted, as well as Moana. So there you go.
I've yet to see Moana, but I have seen Ted.
It's a weird little handbag of movies. But yeah.
You have a lot of personal history with Seth MacFarlane, don't you?
You could say that. But yeah, I don't know. It's a really solid, like, I don't know, like, it's a good, like, feel good movie.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
If you're going insane, it'll comfort you.
I could see that. Yeah. I mean, because when I was rewatching it yesterday, getting ready to do this episode, it really is just a really fun movie. I don't know how to even put it into words. It really just like,
I feel like it's like there ain't nothing.
There's
wrong
nothing
with
to
it.
really think about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's nothing too deep going on.
Yeah.
But it's a fun time the whole time. Jack Black is really funny. And
We both talked about this. I don't think anybody else could have pulled off that role except Jack Black.
Well, the thing was too is like I was doing a bit of research prior to this episode.
Is it about Mike White?
Yeah,
he wrote it.
You wrote the same thing. Yeah, he wrote it for Jack Black.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that no one else could really fill that role.
Yeah,
because it was created for him. But also, it's a testament to Jack Black's skill, and he carries pretty much the whole movie.
Yeah,
and like the kid actors aren't terrible. They're not bad, but they're not great for the most part. They're like okay.
I think they're like they service the movie fine.
But that's what I was gonna say is like I feel like they're either like okay to good. And then Jack Black really elevates them, and he carries the movie, and makes it so none of them kind of fall through the cracks or anything.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So
they all play off with him really well.
Yes, they do. And that's one thing I wanted to mention too about the movie is like every single kid has a personality, and they contribute to the actual movie in a significant way, which is really cool. Like the security kids like save the band a few times. Like,
I really do like that a lot. But yeah, you keep on.
Well, yeah, like every single little group of kids and every individual kid, like they lend to the band and to the story at least a little bit along the way, and they all at least have like one funny moment or like a individual type moment.
Yeah, I like that a lot because that's actually kind of part of the plot. Because the other kids at first are like, "Oh, we're not part of the band. Like, what are we gonna do?" Yeah. But he's like, "No, you all have important roles."
Yeah.
And they, like you said, they all actually do each get a time to shine.
Which is it's a really cute thing too, and that's something that I like an actual kind of. Not that he is a teacher in the movie; he's obviously a fraud, but he does have like a really good sensibility with the kids of like, well, no, I'm including all of you. We're gonna give you everyone's gonna get something to do. Even the kid that the effeminate child, he's given the role of like the costume designer, which of course they don't.
Oh, he volunteers for it actually. Because at first he's on security, and then he's like, "Can I be the?"
He has to be
the design, like the costume designer, or whatever.
He's the
Ned. Well, Dewey, who is posing as Ned, Jack Black's character, he's just like, yeah. He just says, "Okay, yeah."
Yeah, he says yes, yeah, fancy pants, go ahead. No, but he I appreciate that too because that's the role he wanted, and he didn't really get to do anything because he was making these gaudy like sequin outfits, and Jack Black was like, "Well, no, this sucks." And then he's like, well, just do the uniforms. And then they just do the uniforms. But also, at the end of the movie, when Jack Black is just wearing like a t-shirt and his pajamas, he's like, oh, well, he supplies him with that AC/DC looking outfit.
Yeah, like Angus Young, yeah.
So he's still, like, even though it seems like, oh, he didn't really wind up contributing anything, he still does at the end.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, because in the actual concert, they're all wearing the uniforms, but it's like,
some of them have like it's
all played up.
Some of them have like drawings or weird hair or like hats and stuff. Yeah, that's true. That's pretty cool. So yeah, I just appreciate the way that all the kids are involved in the movie, and it's pretty cool to have like a cast of like 16 kids maybe,
something like that,
maybe 16 or 20, and yeah, they all do a decent job standing out. I really like the moment with him and Miranda Cosgrove where she's like, well, I'm gonna freaking tell, like I'm gonna tell, and he's like, you know what, I didn't want to tell the other kids, but you have the most special, important role in the entire band.
Yeah. You're the manager.
He like plays up on her like her self-importance or whatever like that. And
should we give just a basic plot synopsis really quick?
I think everyone knows.
I was like, I feel like everybody's seen this movie, so we don't really have to.
Basically, like real quick, I'll do it in like a paragraph. Jack Black plays a schlub. He's a loser. He mooches off his brother. He impersonates
his brother.
It is his brother.
No, they're friends.
Nah, they're brothers.
No, Dewey Finn, Ned Schneebly.
That doesn't mean anything.
No, they're friends. They're friends.
I always thought they were brothers.
They used to be in a band together. Remember the picture?
Ever since I was a kid, I thought they were brothers.
Really?
Yeah.
No. They're friends. They're friends.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say his brother. So
they're basically brothers. I mean, they're basically brothers.
Okay. Well, Ned and Dewey. So fucking Jack Black's character is a mooch. He mooches off his friend his entire life.
And he just got fired from his band.
His band kicks him out, and he decides that to make his rent money, he's gonna impersonate his roommate and go steal a teaching job from him.
Yeah, a sub job.
And then he teaches the kid rock and roll. The kids. He teaches the kids rock and roll.
So he can compete in the Battle of the Bands, basically.
Yeah.
Against his former band.
Yeah.
And that's basically the plot of the
That's
movie.
pretty much the movie. It's
like you said, I think this is a movie that, like, everybody's seen.
Yeah.
And I was talking about this yesterday because I was telling my brother, I was like, yeah, me and Dylan are going to do School of Rock. And we were just talking about it a little bit, and he was like, yeah, School of Rock, I give it a lot of credit because it's a movie that really brought back, he said this and Guitar Hero really renewed interest in, like, classic rock and roll music. Especially for people like our age.
Younger kids.
Yeah.
For the time.
Uh-huh. And I was like, well, I never really thought about it like that. But I think it's actually really true.
Made rock cool
again,
kind of.
It really did. I never thought about it like that. I'm like, yeah, this movie actually did kind of have a big cultural impact.
Yeah, it did.
In Guitar Hero, yeah. Especially in, like, just, like, pure rock and roll. Like, things like AC/DC, Jimi Hendrix.
Like
The
Black
Who.
Sabbath and shit.
Yeah, uh-huh. Not, like, alternative rock. Like, just pure, like, rock and roll.
Yeah, yeah.
And I never thought about it like that, but he made a really good point.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
That is a good point. And I think, yeah, we were too young to really even consciously notice that at the time. But yeah, looking back, he's completely right. Cool. That is a good point. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Do you have any more thoughts on that? No?
Like I said, I think for me, Guitar Hero, it really did get me into, like, the music I listen to now. And like I said, yeah, just thinking about that, I was like, yeah, I do think he made a good point.
For me, it was literally Scott Pilgrim. And I don't want to admit that, especially on a podcast. But it's true because I was like...
One day we should do Scott Pilgrim.
I was thinking about this.
Comment, yeah.
I was thinking, can I go into...
Because I think me and you both kind of have some deep history with that movie as well.
And we have some pretty... I think there's, like, some really interesting shit to be said about, like women... and like relationships.
Well, the last time me and you watched that movie, I don't want to go into it too long.
Well, let's. You know what? That's what podcasts are for. We'll get back to School of Rock in just a moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna say me and you both said how after we've gotten older, our perceptions and like what that movie had to say constantly change.
It means something else.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is really interesting. I can't say like for me personally, many other movies have done that for me. Outside of Scott Pilgrim, which is really weird.
Yeah,
unless I think it's a really testament to it. Because it doesn't seem like a movie that would age very well, Scott Pilgrim.
It doesn't.
No. Because it's a lot of the stuff that's going on is very relevant to the time it came out.
And plus it came out in 2010, and it's very seeped in like the year 2000.
Yeah.
Kinda. Like it's like even, because kind of the book was like, oh, the PSP.
Like mid-2000s,
and like shit. It's like, it seems like it would age even worse also because of that and shit like that. But but you're right. Yeah, we should get into that one day. But I wanted to mention, if we ever do Scott Pilgrim, I had this idea. We don't have to do it. We could just do the movie if we ever want to do it. But I was thinking if they ever do like a revival movie, some type of animation on Paramount Plus or something or whatever. If there's ever like a Scott Pilgrim revival, we could review the books, the beat 'em up, and the movie.
Yeah.
In one episode.
All great. That
would be fun.
The comic is good. The video game's amazing.
Better than it should be.
Great, yeah.
Better than it should be.
So, Scott Pilgrim, in all media, is pretty good.
Yeah, man. We'll come back to that. And it was pretty cool when I got into it, because like when I got into it, it was because of you and Ryan, my friend Ryan, and he. I remember Ryan was like, "Yeah, they're making a Scott Pilgrim movie," and I was like, this looks stupid, but it's kind of like a superhero movie, I guess, so I'll go see it. And, like, you were excited for it, too, and then I was like, oh, wow, I got all the books, and I got the game at the same time, and for me, it all came at once. So it was a cool experience, Scott Pilgrim across the media and shit. It would be fun to review them all at the same time. But, yeah, so enough about Scott Pilgrim. Sorry for the tangent, but I think that, it's okay to go on a tangent every once in a while. But, yeah, so what about School of Rock got us on that tangent?
The music.
The music. Oh, I was just going to say real quick, also about Scott Pilgrim, is just I heard that music and I was like, what's this kind of like shitty sounding, like dirty, like modern punk, I guess. Like, I like it. So basically all my music after that, other than
from Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, because you were saying like a lot of your influence came from Scott Pilgrim, from School of Rock. Oh well, mine did too. I like a lot of that stuff too, but just ton of my stuff is like female vocal punk rock and shit like that.
Well, there's something one significant thing that's really seeped into this movie. There's a lot of Ramones in this movie. And when I was a kid, the Ramones were my favorite band. I don't know
Would
if
you say? Just
there's like
curious.
2 Ramones songs that play in the movie. In Dewey's room, he has Ramones stuff all over. And one point, like that like montage where they're going through like the history lessons of rock and all that. That's a great scene, by the way. And there is a Ramones song playing.
When I was a little kid, that was one of my favorite scenes. Like just seeing
it is one of the best scenes in the movie.
Because I used to pause it and just look at it, like the flow chart of all the like.
It's
like progressive rock and alt rock and like
classic.
That's
punk.
a really cool
it says
visual.
Southern rock, and one is
it's a
like
great
has Leonard
visual.
Skinner and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a great scene. But anyways, at one point he's showing the Ramones on the TV, and then at the end you see the guitar. What's the name? The kid who plays lead guitar, Zach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's wearing a Ramones shirt. But anyways, I think.
in the very end credits when it's like the.
When they're playing AC/DC at the end.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think maybe that this movie, I didn't realize, maybe helped me get into the Ramones. Because, like I said, as a kid, they were my favorite band. And then later, I got deeper into punk music. That's what I really like now. But I credit that to liking, the Ramones are a good, I guess, gateway band.
Entry.
You know what I mean? Yeah, good entry point.
It's kind of like Metallica for metal.
Yeah, something like that. Something everybody knows, something everybody likes. So, I can credit that to School of Rock a little bit, I think.
I have something similar. It doesn't pertain to music necessarily. But I do think this movie influenced maybe my taste in music a little bit because I do love like AC/DC and Black Sabbath and shit like that. But I love the character archetype of like the good for nothing like schlub. Like
this is almost like Shrek. We were talking about Shrek last week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just kind of a
yeah.
zero to hero type thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But more Jack Black's character in this movie, which I think is kind of clever. He's kind of like a child. Like
for sure.
He's very selfish. He's a man-child. He doesn't work like.
You know what's something funny about that? That when I was a kid, that really clicked at me. I love how he just openly admits to like being a loser at the beginning. He's like, bro, I've been mooching off you for years. Like he just admits it.
It actually
he's like, I've been mooching off you for years, bro. And not until Mike White, who's like his roommate, Ned.
Yeah.
Ned.
The real Ned.
Yeah, who he's posing as. He's now dating Sarah Silverman's character. I forgot her name. And she's like, yeah, Dewey's a fucking loser. You need to get rid of him, basically. And he's like, bro, you've been letting me mooch off you for years until she came around. I just thought that was really funny.
Well, I do have something to say, too, about that part. One thing it always endeared me a lot to, is it Mike White?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It really endeared me, Ned, yeah. It really endeared me to that character, because I really like how kind of... I mean,
he cares for him.
It's toxic.
Yeah, he's a good friend.
It's toxic, I guess, but it's also like, yeah, he cares about him, because he's like... And I also like how after Dewey is like, he's like, you know what, man, I'm doing it for you, not for her.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome.
That.
Yeah.
I like that.
And like I said, they were in a band together. FWC. It was some kind of, I don't know if it was like a metal band or what, but they were wearing like the.
I think it was metal.
Almost like the Kiss makeup.
Yeah, and he was like, "You're a cross-dressing rock god."
Yeah. Which is awesome. More on Kiss though, there is something kind of funny about this. So you know how when he gets fired from No Vacancy, the band he was in at the beginning of the movie, they say like the lead singer, he's like, dude, you're a loser. You're like always. He said you go on these 20-minute guitar solos, and I don't know if Richard Linklater, the director of this movie, I'll get more into him because I kind of want to talk about him. I'll get more into him a little bit. I don't know if he took from this, but there's a story. Gene Simmons, the bassist of Kiss, he says it's not true. But there's a story that Vinnie Vincent, who was the guitarist after Ace Frehley, the original guitarist that Kiss left, Vinnie Vincent, there's a story that he got fired from the band because he was solo on stage so much, and like Gene Simmons got really pissed off about it and fired him because of that. So I was like, I don't know if he was taking from that a little bit or not. Maybe not.
But it's a pretty like band thing to happen.
Yeah.
Where it's like, dude, you're fucking hogging the spotlight, you're hogging the ball.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Like you're on. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's like, it also that endears you to his character too, because it's like, you kind of see as the movie goes on, it doesn't really come from a place of like ego. It comes more from a place of like he just loves it, like he's just having fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that's just Jack Black himself a little, because in a weird way, Jack Black kind of just playing himself in this movie.
He's playing himself if he wasn't famous, kind of.
Yeah, you know.
Kind of.
Yeah, because like this was like right after the Tenacious D show, you know, and in Tenacious D, he's basically playing himself. You know what I mean? And it's almost kind of the same role. Like he's a wannabe rock star in Tenacious D. It's like if JB from Tenacious D was put in something else. were
Yeah.
put in this situation, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
This actually made me kind of want to watch Tenacious D, the Pick of Destiny movie.
Yeah, have you seen the TV show?
Uh-uh.
It's great. Yeah, that was, like I said, that was probably a few years before
it
this.
was before the movie?
Yeah, it was on HBO
weird.
back in the day. And that's what
HBO, you say?
Yeah. I don't know if it's on HBO Max or not.
Oh, okay.
It might be. But yeah, that was a few years before School of Rock. It was like around the time their first album came out, Tenacious D. And like I said, basically almost the same character. And that's just who Jack Black is. Like, he is known for being really into rock music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He played a similar character also right around the same time. This was probably before School of Rock also. And I don't know if you've seen High Fidelity.
Mm-mm.
That's a movie with John Cusack. They just made a TV show about it with Zoe Kravitz. It's like based off the show.
I mean,
off the movie.
That.
Yeah.
High Fidelity, right?
Yeah, it's a good movie. But anyways, John Cusack is like working in a record store in it, and Jack Black works there with him, and that's a big thing. So Jack Black, he's just really into music.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But it's and also like, what's his name? The Tim Schafer game.
Oh, Brutal Legend.
Brutal Legend. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So almost the same thing. So that's just who Jack Black is, and I guess he does have some history with the Cusacks apparently, because so he was in High Fidelity with John Cusack, and Joan Cusack was in that movie too. And then in this, Joan Cusack played the principal.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she is great. Yeah.
And I love the scene where she gets drunk. Well, not drunk, but
I think it was kind of implied, like that she got drunk, like often drinking, because she doesn't do it very often.
they don't really show her drinking, but then they cut.
She
to,
drinks
like,
a little bit of the beer, and then she starts
Well, then
already loosening up. Basically,
she does loosen up immediately
Yeah.
because she's like vibing to the music, and
Yeah,
she's like,
Stevie
"Well, maybe we
Nicks.
can do that." Yeah,
Stevie Nicks.
That's really funny, and it's pretty good how he's trying. I never really noticed, but they kind of try and he tries to weasel his way into the field trip angle.
Yeah,
But then, of course, it doesn't work out. And I was like, once he gets fired during the parent-teacher conference, I was like, what even happens after this? And the kids go get him, which, of course, that's not realistic at all. But there's a lot of that in this movie where it's like, I can suspend my disbelief, though, because the characters are so fun. You know what I mean?
yeah. There's a lot of, like, plot holes.
Why isn't he arrested? How did he get the job without giving them, like, his ID?
Yeah,
or, like,
he just showed up, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're Ned." Yeah. There's a lot of plot holes in it, but like the fact that it's like a goofy kids movie, and it's like a feel good movie. It almost it doesn't take itself too seriously, so you can overlook that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah. So for me, that's not really a big deal.
It's really about just this loser, like, relating and helping kids. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, you can hand wave pretty much all the plot holes, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, the scene where she gets drunk is great. It's pretty funny. And it's like, I think this movie, I was noticing it while I was watching it. I watched it just now before we're recording this. You know that kind of screenwriting or like writing rule where it's like every scene should maybe establish or pay off two things?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I think this movie does that actually quite a bit. I can't think of examples off the top of my head, but I mean, for example, there's a scene where he finds out, like, oh, if you get her drunk, she's fun.
Yeah.
Like, and that scene and everything. And, I mean, every scene is pretty fun and funny because of Jack Black.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, you get the information and you get the character moments and everything. I feel like even though it's, like, slow, there's no, like, the only conflict is him getting caught. There's no, like, villain, really, or anything. Like, it just kind of, it's so, just, like, charming, fun, like, the characters bounce off each other so well that, it kind of paces itself, and, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
In a weird way, so I think this might be a good time to talk about the director. It's weird, like you said, almost everything dialogue-wise kind of pays off.
Yeah.
In a weird way, this is a lot different from his other movies. So the director of this movie is Richard Linklater. He's one of my favorite directors personally.
What else has he made? I have no idea.
We shall get into that.
Okay. Okay.
So he came from like that 90s independent scene, like along with directors like, Tarantino, Kevin Smith.
Fat Kev Smith?
Fat Kevin Smith. Former Fat Kevin Smith.
Fat Kev Smith.
Back then he was fat, so yeah.
Not Kevin. Fat Kev Smith.
Is that like a username or something he uses? I feel like it is.
No, it's just what he used to call himself.
Oh, okay, Fat Kev Smith. Yeah, Kevin Smith. Actually, his first movie, Slacker, was the reason Kevin Smith decided to start making movies.
Oh, really?
There you go. Thank you, Richard Linklater.
Okay. Yeah,
if you're a fan of Kevin Smith, thank you.
Because
Richard
of this
Linklater.
movie, like I said, I love that slacker archetype, especially with like kind of a rock kind of angle.
Yeah.
But like for some reason, Clerks don't like Clerks.
Clerks is a great movie. You don't like it, but anyways, yeah. Steven Soderbergh, Jim Jarmusch, people like that. Richard Linklater came from that scene, and a lot of his movies are known like the Before trilogy, or Boyhood, things like that. They're kind of known for just being, or Dazed and Confused. That's probably like his most famous movie, I guess, outside of School of Rock. They're known for being kind of like stream of consciousness type movies, if that makes sense. They're really like focused on real life situations and characters. Like the whole movies are like definitely in the Before trilogy at least, and Dazed and Confused also. The whole movie is just kind of characters talking, and it could be about anything. It doesn't necessarily go anywhere. It's just kind of in favor of just the characters, not in favor of the plot.
Yeah, that's definitely the thing with School of Rock.
Yeah. You think so? I was gonna say like I feel like in this way it kind of feels different. From his other movies.
I think in comparison to not his filmography, but to other movies, maybe other kids' movies or whatever, it feels a lot like that, where it's just kind of like...
Yeah, I can see that for sure, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Like you really just have the typical kind of climax where they go kill it at Battle of the Bands.
Yeah,
But other than that, it's pretty like... I mean, there is like a through line, obviously, but it's very like... just getting to know these kids.
Yeah.
Just like Jack Black running a scam. I think that's like... I like that a lot because it can get very monotonous watching movies where it's like, all right, like here's the big change at the end of Act 1, here's the big change at the end of Act 2, whatever.
Yeah, like, in that way, I think you're right. In that way, it is closer to like his other movies, but just in the fact that it has more of a structure to it than his other movies do. His other movies are more artsy, I guess you could say. Which makes sense because this is like a Paramount movie.
Movie.
Yeah, a kids movie. So he couldn't really be doing that, if that makes sense. On top of it, he didn't write this either. Mike White wrote it. So I think he usually writes his own stuff. So in that way, it makes sense. He couldn't really be doing that. But you get what I mean, though?
Yeah, but like I said, though, in comparison to his other movies, yeah, it's probably way more structured in a more typical kind of way.
Yes.
But... compared to a lot of other movies, like I said, yeah.
I think the word I was looking for is like slice of life. His movies are kind of slice of life movies. Yeah. And in a way, he was a great choice for this because music is always a big part of his movies. I mean, Dazed and Confused is named after a Led Zeppelin song.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so... And, 70s rock is like all over that movie. So, yeah, I think he was a good choice for this because he clearly knows rock music.
Yeah, I don't know shit about him, but...
He's a great director.
He did a good job.
You saw Bernie, right? He directed that too.
Oh yeah, Bernie was awesome.
Yeah, Bernie was a good movie. Underrated.
I really like that one.
Another good Jack Black movie.
Yeah, man, I watched that on Netflix like 10 years ago or something. That was a great movie.
I haven't seen it in a.
Maybe it wasn't 10 years ago. When did that come out?
Yeah, probably like
10 years ago.
Right around now, like 10 years ago.
It's a good ass movie. Evan, who's your favorite child in this movie?
Zach, I like him.
He's my least favorite.
Really?
My favorite was always what's her name? The wonderful black child, the female.
I don't know.
You don't remember her name?
No.
Well, she was always my favorite kid because I love the moment where he kind of gets her to come out of her shell, in a way at first, and she's like, "Well, you should have been a singer the whole time." And then later when he's like, "Well, I'm fat too.
Yeah.
Is it a crime to eat?" It's like, yeah, Jack Black, it's not a crime to eat. No, it's not. I love that. I think she's my favorite character. And I was watching a video, a very cool video. I don't know if you've heard of this channel called Miss Mojo.
Oh.
It's basically Watch Mojo. But they were talking about the kids and like where they went, or some of the actors where they went, and apparently she just fucked off. Like that actress never did anything ever again.
Well, I don't think a lot of them did anything. Actually, I heard the kid who played Freddy, the drummer kid, he died. Like,
really?
Yeah. Either last year or like the beginning of this year. He did.
He's one of my favorites too.
Yeah.
I always liked him.
He passed away.
A few of them went on Broadway.
Oh, okay. But they weren't like really in movies or anything.
Just Miranda Cosgrove.
Oh yeah, I guess we can talk about that. Was it before Drake and Josh?
Yes.
It went before Drake and Josh.
I think. Yeah, it was, because this was 2003. Drake and Josh was a little later, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe this is when she started getting in favor of Viacom or Nick or anything. Was she in like the Amanda Show or anything before that?
No.
She wasn't? Okay, so this was like like her
Drake
first big role then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a great interview, or it's like a featurette from the DVD I saw on YouTube where it's basically just Jack Black and Miranda Cosgrove talking.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn, like, well, first of all, Miranda Cosgrove was like a smart fucking kid.
Yeah.
Because I met some stupid fucking kids, man. And I was a stupid kid, you know, but Miranda Cosgrove was talking like a full grown adult in that interview, and it wasn't even like forced, you know what I mean? Like it was like,
yeah,
I was like, she is smart.
Well, I think she went great, and she definitely probably the best actor of the kid, which makes sense, yeah. And so I guess it makes sense for her to play that role that she did. What's her name in this?
Shoot,
I don't remember her name.
it's something that doesn't match her at all. It's like Sunshine or some shit.
Sunshine.
It's something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So he basically, she did a good job in this. And like when he's like, "Oh, is she gonna be the first female president?" Yeah, I was like, it makes sense, you know.
I really like that moment where he's kind of just gushing about the kids.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And I was like, yeah, this wasn't really malicious. I mean, it kind of was, but.
Well, he apologizes. He's like, yeah, basically, I just used you guys, but I think he wasn't expecting them to grow on him.
Yeah.
And they, you know.
He wasn't expecting it either way.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't expecting like them to like him or him to like them or.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Which is cute. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's great.
Cool kids movie fun.
Cool kids movie fun.
And yeah, as far as it being a kids movie though, a lot of these jokes I feel like they cannot do now.
Well, they did the only one I really feel like is kind of racy is just the gay kid.
Well, I was like,
they don't make fun of him.
They don't make fun of him, but I feel like the fancy pants thing. I feel like there's no way that they can make that joke now, calling him fancy pants. I'm like, I don't think they could do that now. But yeah, you're right. They don't, because back then I feel like they did in movies. Like it wasn't even that long ago, but I feel like it would have been more acceptable to make fun of him because of being gay. But yeah, they actually don't do that at all in this movie.
Nah, he's just kind of funny because he's like, he just has a flamboyant personality.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's not really like, it's like, you're gay. It's just because he's like, well, like there's that one part where it's like, it has nothing to do with him being gay really, but he's just like, you're a fat piece of shit. Or like,
yeah, that scene is iconic. It's funny as fuck.
That scene is great where he's like, get mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like telling them to get mad.
You're
like,
tacky and I hate you.
You're tacky and I hate you. That was a huge like Tumblr thing like 10 years ago. Yeah.
It's funny as fuck though.
It is. No, it is. So yeah, he gets like his moments of like comedy and whatever when it's not really like he's gay. But
yeah.
Like he's just so.
The only thing for me, I think, is just the fancy pants thing. I feel like
That's
they probably wouldn't say that now. Yeah.
That's probably the only thing.
And there's this. I laughed hard as fuck at this. There's a joke. So the last three girls, he has Miranda Cosgrove and the two other girls, and he says, "You guys are the groupies." I was like, Jesus Christ! He really told these little girls they're the fucking groupies.
Well, what I thought was funnier was when I talked about the scene where Miranda Cosgrove's character is like, well, I want a better job, or she doesn't say that, but like Jack Black plays on her need to like control shit. He's like, oh, well, you're the band manager.
Yeah. That
scene, what made me laugh was when she comes up, she's like, they're whores.
Yeah.
Like
she was like, I looked it up on the internet. Groupies are sluts or whatever. I was like,
groupies are sluts that sleep with the band.
Yeah. That's what she said. There's sluts that sleep with the band.
That was really funny.
I was like, Jesus Christ. Well, I thought that was funny when I was a kid. Cause funny. But now I'm just like, Jesus, he really told those little girls you're the groupies.
Well, that's one thing too, is like, because I was saying like every little group or every individual kid really has like something to do.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you're the groupies, which is, it sounds at first like it's like, well, he's just giving these kids shitty jobs to just make them fuck off. But but
it's something like, he gives them an important
role. He at least gives them something to do. But I was gonna say like, he's like, oh, you're the groupies, so that feels like, oh, he's just brushing them aside.
Yeah.
Because obviously that's a shitty fucking thing to be.
Yeah.
But the first thing he's like, you guys are gonna name the band, which is sweet.
Yeah,
like that's a cool fucking job for a kid to have. Like you'd be psyched.
Yeah, it's funny though. When they're first trying to come up with the names and they just choose these kitty ass names.
They're like, yeah, the honeybees.
Yeah. That's really funny.
But then he teaches them about rock.
Yeah,
and they understand, and they come to understand rock.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
and they say School Rocks.
That's great.
And thus an iconic movie was born.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But I thought that was funny. They're just like the bumblebees or whatever. They say like some really stupid
The
stuff.
honeybees, the koala
Yeah,
bears.
they say the koala bears. That was it. So that was funny to me.
One thing I did want to mention is I'm looking at my notes here, but one thing I loved was the intro where the credits are a dive bar.
Oh yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
That is a great little intro, and plus
the opening scene is just funny as fuck.
And it's just funny because like Jack Black's just hamming it up, and then it's sweet, of course, when he tries to do the what is it called, crowd
the
surfing.
Yeah, the day
yeah, he tries to do that, and of course he fucking falls on his head, and he wakes up at home or whatever. And then at the end, he does a successful stage dive.
Which
so
is awesome.
that's sweet. Yeah,
Here's a time for a little rock and roll fun fact.
Oh.
The inventor of the stage dive was indeed Mr. Iggy Pop of the Stooges.
Ooh.
And they play TVI by the Stooges in one scene. There you go. Full circle.
How about that? Leave a like.
Thank you, Richard. Link later.
Shit. I like how Dewey learns to collaborate with people.
Well, that is kind of, I guess that is one of the through lines of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, when he was with the other band, he clearly just wanted to be the star, I guess, yeah. And in this, it's like, oh, he kind of learns all the components. Even though he was kind of, at first, half-assing it by giving them the roles, in the end, it, like, all comes together.
Yeah.
Which I like a lot. And even in a way, I think, like, that's just an important message for anybody who might be interested in the music industry at all.
Or really just creative stuff in general.
It's like, oh, you think that you had to be like on the stage, but no, there's actually a lot of working component
pieces. Yeah.
And without one of them, everything will fall apart.
And like I said too, like all of them really do their job. And they contribute to the band, which is cool because it's like, oh, there's a classroom of 20 kids, like, you know, you just need 4 kids, but no, they make it work.
Yeah, they
make it work. And it feels like, it really does feel like, this is kind of cheesy, but it feels like they're a band. It feels like they're genuinely doing it as a unit, and there's no side kids that are kind of useless. It really,
yeah, which is, like, we talked about that a little bit earlier, but I think, I wouldn't say that's the theme of the movie necessarily, but it's definitely, like, one of them. Just, everybody, you know, has a role to serve.
Yeah, and I think more
to make everything come together.
I think more what he learns, like, the kids are kind of his peers, even though they do have that moment where he's like kind of an adult and he's like, what were you thinking, when like he walks off, the drummer walks off into some stranger's van and like smokes with them and stuff. But no, he doesn't smoke, he plays cards.
He playing cards with them. That was Zach, the drummer.
And that has Zach, isn't Zach the guitar person?
Oh, Freddie, yeah.
But yeah,
whatever their generic children names are.
I was watching this video right before this, and they were like, this movie's cool, but the names are so stupid.
I saw that video too. Yeah,
you watched that?
Yeah.
It had 400 views?
Something like that, yeah.
Yes! Oh, we watched the same video. That's hilarious.
Yeah, Dewey, Finn, Ned, Schneebly. I don't mind them.
No, I like it. It makes a lot of sense that their names suck. Like, because they're not, like, rock stars.
Yeah.
Like, they're just people. Like, they don't have cool names.
Yeah.
Ned Schneebly. Yeah, makes sense.
Ned Schneebly.
Yeah. Classic.
Schneebly. That was funny to me,
It's pronounced Schneebly, actually.
Yeah.
I like his, like, kind of, even though it's a very small part of the movie,
I was just about to mention
I like his chemistry with the other teachers.
I'm going to say, at first they're like, oh, they seem kind of weird. But then they, you know.
They all warm up to him.
Yeah, And then he sees that one of the kids walk up to him and is like, yo, today's lesson was awesome.
Yeah, they're like, thank you, today's lesson was really cool.
I think also, that's kind of, this is more of an adult thing, I think. Like, you know, something more adults can take from, but I think it's like, there's something here that the movie is saying is like, oh, not everything has to be by the books.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot more to learning than just science, math, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
It's a pretty, like, punk rock message.
Yeah.
I mean, like, in a kind of, like, a transformed into, like, a kid's movie kind of way.
Yeah, for sure,
it still really fits with the whole rock message thing.
Yeah, it's like, there are other ways to do it. There are more important things, you know, to learn about. Not more important, but it's like, you know, when you're in school, especially, which is weird, this actually set in a private school, but it's more, I feel like, there's more so
of a public school.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, because private school,
the metaphor is kind of for public schools.
Yeah, which is a bit weird, but anyways, who cares? Maybe it should have been in a public school.
They just wanted to have the AC/DC outfits already on.
No,
them.
for sure. I was gonna say, actually, I think this might be a little bit better if it was in a public school.
Yeah,
because it makes more sense.
But it also kind of contrasts more with the private school.
I guess so, because they're all stuck-up rich kids.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, and plus it makes more sense that all the
parents are assholes,
be super mad.
Yeah,
and shit. Yeah.
In that way, it makes sense. But the point is that, anyways, that not everything has to be by the books, I guess you could say, yeah.
And I like, what was I going to say? There's more important, it doesn't really say this in any way, like, outright, but there's kind of something more important than just regurgitating what you're learning. Like, there's more, even though he's not teaching them, really, I mean, he is teaching them rock and roll, which is like...
But what comes with that is that they learn a lot more, like, they all learn to stand up for themselves, definitely.
They all...
Especially, like, the kid who plays the keyboard and the lead guitarist kid.
And the singer.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty much, I think it implies also that, like, a lot of them learn a sense of confidence.
Yes,
And a lot of and the way that Jack Black is so, like, you can't really make a teacher be passionate about what they're teaching, but it says a lot about, like, if you love what you're teaching and, like, you have more creative ways to teach it and shit like that, like, not just regurgitating what you're reading and shit like that, like, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, like I was saying, they all gain more personality.
Yeah.
After this,
well, they're allowed to, like, have a personality.
Yeah, for sure. Which is part of it. I guess it's coming back to the private school thing. In a weird way, the private school is also used as a way to kind of assimilate them. Oh, they all look the same because they're all wearing the same uniform.
Like conformity. And,
okay.
Because that's what I was saying is, like, with a private school, you get that contrast of the beginning of the movie versus the end of the movie where they all have, like, the fucked up uniforms and everything. One scene I actually like a lot is, like...
Oh, can I say something really quick? Just before we get off that point. Then this lesson also goes to the parents and then the principal also. Because she kind of learns to loosen up from him.
Yes.
You know, because she's trying, like, she knows that she's a square. I think that's what she says. And she doesn't like it, but she kind of has no choice to be, especially with the asshole parents.
Yeah, because she was like, when parents expect so much out of me, I can't have a sense of humor. They don't have a sense of humor about their kids and all that.
And we see that.
That's a good scene when she's drunk in the car talking to him.
Yeah, that's a great scene. And I think we see a little bit of that at the beginning. This is a really funny scene when she's, like, trying to discipline that little girl.
Yeah, that's great.
And then she tries to loosen up a little. She's like, "Oh, do you need a hug?" And the girl gets completely terrified of her. And that, like, she screams and she's like, "Oh, I'll be good, I swear." And
you know what's really funny is, like, that 400 view video we both watched somehow. He mentioned in that video, I think, he was like, "That's, like, the best kid actor in the movie." He's so right. That little girl is great because she, like, seems really scared.
Yeah.
And I love how she's really still the principal I'm talking about. She's talking to a little girl and she's trying to discipline her, or she is successfully successfully disciplining her because she's terrified, the little girl. But the principal is, like, at the end, she's, like, very, like, stilted and wooden. She's like, "Well, do you need a hug?" And, like, she's, like, very aggressive.
That's what I mean. So she's trying to loosen up a little bit, but she can't.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Jack Black character kind of. This lesson that the kids get, it also goes to the parents and her as well.
And to the teachers a little bit.
Yeah, and a little bit. Like you were saying, that we don't see too much of, but you can see that.
Yeah, you still get that idea that...
which I like a lot. That's something, another thing I never really thought about until I've gotten older and seen it again, is that, he kind of transforms the whole school, which is awesome. I like it a lot.
And of course, I did want to mention that one little scene. It's really small, but ever since I noticed it when I was a little kid too. It's like a cool detail where you kind of really see how the Jack Black is, like, really rubbing off on them. Because, of course, you have that scene where the guitarist is, like, getting reprimanded by his dad, like, right after he gets the music from Jack Black. And he's like, "No more rock music."
Yeah.
Like, of course, you get that. But really, like, there's... it's great. Like, it's just, like... who's the drummer? Freddie? And I don't know the girl's name because she's not in it very much, but the bassist. They're, like, walking down the hallway and they're talking about, like... He's like, "Well, there's no great female drummers," and then
I have something to say about this scene.
I love that scene, and she's like, "What about I don't know the girl, the woman's name from the White Stripes."
Is this what I was about to talk about? I was like, this scene always bothered me because I'm like, Meg White is awesome. Don't talk shit on Meg. Meg is fucking awesome.
Well, I like that too because she's like, well, she's a fucking better drummer than you.
Yeah, that's
and
funny.
it really does sound like kids talking about something they're interested in, but it happens to be classic rock. Yeah. And it really feels like, Jack Black's influenced the kids. That's a great little moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, this is not. I won't talk about this too much, but I'm just like, oh, that pisses me off. I'm like, dude, I fucking love Meg. The White Stripes are awesome. Meg is
White
awesome.
Stripes are dope.
Yeah, Meg is awesome.
Can I mention a cool story?
Of course.
This is it pertains to rock and roll, but not necessarily School of Rock.
Yeah.
It's
better time than ever to talk about it.
I guess so.
Better time than ever. I mean,
I don't think we're ever gonna do music.
Oh no.
So we're just gonna have to do like Pick a Destiny if we ever want to talk about music again. I guess Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Music. Or no, we'll definitely do Bohemian Rhapsody soon.
No, we are not doing Bohemian Rhapsody. No, we are not doing that.
No, okay. So what I was gonna mention is when I was a kid, I was definitely not cool. Never was cool. Never am cool. But I always wanted to be able to talk. Well, no, RNS is not a cool guy podcast. This is for the outsiders. Power to the people. Power to the players.
Stick it to the man.
Stick it to the man.
There you go.
I got stick it to the manitis.
Same.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Yeah.
I love that. And I like that that's Miranda Cosgrove's character's idea. I always remember it being Jack Black's idea, but I was like, oh no, that's one of the kids comes up with that. That's funny. But when I was a kid, I wanted to be cool. I was like, I would like soak up people's opinions and just regurgitate them about shit I didn't care about just to sound interesting.
Yeah.
And I remember I was it was before we knew each other. I was in like sorry, I don't want to fucking give you too much preamble for this. Basically, I was in like 3rd grade or 4th grade. It was before I moved and met Evan.
If anyone cares to know, me and Dylan met in the 5th grade.
We did meet in the 5th grade. There you go. So it was before I moved to this neighborhood that I currently live in. Anyways, my fucking point is there were older kids talking about what's the band called that did Through the Fire and Flames?
Oh, fucking Dragon Force.
Dragon Force. Right. So I was playing Guitar Hero one day, and my cousin, who's like 7 years older than me, and her friend were talking about Dragon Force, and I remember her friend was like, "Oh yeah, like the drummer can never keep up with the band, like they suck." And I was like, okay.
Did you just go say that to those kids?
And then those kids were talking about Dragon Force, and I was like, yeah, man, they suck. The drummer can't keep up. And they're like, oh shit, that's a good point. Like they thought that was a cool opinion.
There you go. That's awesome.
So yeah, that's a fucking silly little anecdote for you.
Oh, back on that scene though, really quick, where they were talking about Meg White.
Oh, yeah.
Bouncing off what you said. It's funny right after that when the
principal.
Yeah, she walks by. One of the security kids. I forgot his name.
He's like, "You're the man."
Yeah, he said, "Miss Mullins, you're the man." That's funny.
That is great.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool little jokes in there.
And that's a great. I guess we could, because we didn't really talk about it too much. We said it a little bit, but the stick it to the man thing.
Oh yeah.
That kind of just goes well with everything we've been talking about.
Yeah, just rock and
kind
roll,
of breaking,
punk rock,
breaking
break the rules.
Fuck
yeah.
A great lesson he teaches them. Stick it to the man. Stick it to the man.
Great lesson.
I like that.
And apparently the security kid that's like heavier set. You know what I'm talking about with the mole?
Yeah.
He was in The Sopranos. Boom.
That's fitting. That seems fitting.
When I saw the video,
he seems like he could be a James Gandolfini Italian type kid.
He looks like he belongs in what's that movie called that's coming up?
The Many Saints of Newark, the Sopranos movie.
A Sopranos story.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie looks bad. But yeah, he was in.
It doesn't look too bad.
It looks alright.
But I haven't watched The Sopranos, so I'm not gonna see it. If I ever watch The Sopranos, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
But I have no plans. So I'm watching The Sopranos.
I might watch them.
I want to see it, but it's just like we were kind of talking about this. Another completely off topic, but whatever. We can talk about it.
He's in it.
No.
There's a Sopranos alum in.
Oh yes.
School
for
of
that
Rock.
Reason, yeah.
Completely on topic.
Yesterday we were talking about how me and you both don't really like TV too much.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, just because it's really time consuming, I guess, and
well, because if you gamble on a TV show, that's like a week of your time,
exactly,
or whatever. Like,
yeah, and then if you don't like it, there goes all that time you spent on it. Yeah. Or if sometimes you're like, oh, I had to finish this, and it's like fucking 8 more seasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or
in
like
that way,
Loki,
I much prefer movies.
Or it's like Loki, where I'm like, I gotta watch these last 2 episodes, and they're dog shit.
I've yet to watch Loki.
Loki's fucking terrible. Don't finish it. Evan feels a sense of like he's like, oh, dude, I gotta be ready for Because Evan's a huge Spider-Man No Way Home nerd.
Yeah, you know me.
And you gotta finish What If. You gotta finish Loki. Loki's terrible.
But anyways, I think in that way, me and you both prefer movies. Because then if the movie's shit, well, you only would just wasted 2 hours. You
Basically,
know what I mean? Yeah. Instead of a fucking month of your life or whatever.
Or yeah, perhaps even longer.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're watching them as they come out.
I
like
just mean
Game
if you're
of
like
Thrones,
watching on Netflix or whatever.
But what about like people that loved Game of Thrones?
Yeah, for years,
and then
the
the
last
ending was fucking terrible.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
That sucks.
Yeah, yeah.
My heart goes out to you, Game of Thrones fans.
Same.
But also, don't watch TV.
Don't watch TV.
Yeah,
Watch movies like School
read a book.
And in a way, I think we can talk about. This is similar to Shrek, where I think the pacing of this movie is great.
It's great, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Well, like I was saying too.
And it's not too long.
No, it's very concise. I think it's 90 minutes. About 90 minutes.
A little bit longer. It's like hour 49, something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it's pretty.
It doesn't get to the 2 hour.
It feels
mark,
brief, and there's not a second. There's not a second where I was like, when is this gonna keep going? Like, move along. Like, there's not a moment of that. And like I said, there's a lot of dual purpose with a lot of scenes and everything. They give you a lot of information, a lot of laughs,
Yeah.
a lot of smiles, a lot of feelings.
A lot of feeling.
I actually cried. You want to guess where I cried? It's not easy.
Let me think.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. Can you give me a hint?
Towards
Maybe
the
like
end.
where it is?
It's towards the end of the movie.
Towards the end. Is it on the bus when he like
No.
apologizes to them?
No.
Is it when they pray before they play?
No.
Okay, I don't know.
Those are good though. But I cried when Joan Cusack, that's her name?
Yeah, Joan Cusack.
When Joan Cusack comes up and she's so happy and she loved it. That's when I cried.
Oh, yeah. That is good.
I love that. Yeah.
All the parents loved it.
Yeah. I like the moment too where like the
spider. Is that what you're talking about when he starts hitting on Joan Cusack?
No. I don't love that moment. No.
It's funny. It's a good scene.
It is funny. It is funny. Yeah. He's like, "You're hot," and he's like, "Are you okay? Are you having a hot flash? Are you warm?" No, I like when the I think it's the guitarist and the piano like teachers like not teachers, the parents of those kids. They're like,
your son's really talented.
He's like, your son's really talented. He's like, yeah, so's yours. I like that.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's like they didn't even realize that their own children had these talents.
Yeah,
until that moment.
Because they didn't really let them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which I really like that a lot.
Yeah.
Speaking on the Joan Cusack thing, though, really quick.
Yes.
What's the thing with Spider? So, it's weird. Do you think? Because I don't.
They had sex.
No.
Oh. What?
I mean, that's what I'm gonna say. Do you think because it's like, oh, maybe something hit off between her and him. What do you think at all in this movie they were trying to develop a romance between Jack Black and her?
I actually know a bit of information that I can share.
Well,
with
we
you.
both know it, how they cut the kiss scene.
Yeah, okay, fuck you. Well, you could have let me reveal it. But no, you had to fucking pull the fucking big reveal out from under us. But okay, yeah. So I don't know why you would pose that question and then pull. It could have been a whole little through line there where we dramatically kind of pull the information to the audience, Evan. But you just pulled the rug out from under it, and now we're
But I know I don't think that's entirely relevant though. It is, but I'm just saying just from what's there, barring that. That's the reason I said I was like because I knew we were going to talk about that, but I just wanted to ignore that for a second. Just what's here.
So
do you think they're trying to develop a romance?
No, I think that would have been played as I don't know because literally all I know is that 400 view video guy. He was like they cut that, so that's a fun fact. But I think that would have been played as a joke, and I'm glad
it would have been really weird.
I'm really glad they cut it.
Yeah, me too. It would have been.
And
weird.
I think maybe I don't know. I haven't seen it. I don't know if is it even available to watch. Is it on like a special features or anything?
I don't think it ever filmed.
No, it was just scripted.
Yeah, I think.
I think it would have been she kisses him, maybe.
Yeah, probably because she was more coming on to him.
Well, I don't think she was really
not coming on to him, but she was like.
But she's drunk and she feels very appreciative and like.
No. It was not when she's drunk. It was when they go together to the parents' school night.
Wasn't it in the van? I thought
they're in the van in that scene also because he picks her up.
I thought it was in the van when she was drunk.
No. It's before they go inside to the.
That's even worse.
Yeah. So I'm saying
Yeah, I'm glad they cut that. But no, I don't think they were setting that up really at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they were, but it's like there's little hints of it because she's like, oh yeah, oh this isn't a date, like she asks him out, but she's like gets awkward, like kind of flustered.
Like it's already a school thing, so why would it be a date?
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I thought I'd pose that, but yes, there was a kiss scene that was cut.
Thanks for ruining that great fluid
Because,
conversation we had going.
Because, like I said, I wanted to just ignore that completely. I just wanted to talk about from what's in the actual movie.
Just death of the author, just what's in the text.
Yes, exactly.
Perfect.
That's why I asked.
And I appreciate there's no romance aspect to the whole movie.
No.
I mean, Sarah Silverman and whatever, but that doesn't do anything really.
Do you think they broke up?
Nah. I like to think that he had a beautiful Sarah Silverman GF for the rest of his life.
It's funny, he's like, dude, I'm never gonna get another. He's like, you have to do this. I'm never gonna get another girlfriend again.
That was funny. I like that a lot. And she's like really successful and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know, what does she do?
She was the mayor's assistant.
Oh yeah. We kind of talked about this before. I guess we haven't talked about Sarah Silverman too much. It's weird. They don't.
She's not funny.
Yeah, she's just. Part of Sarah Silverman's comedy is like, I do the bitch thing. What she does in this, I do the bitch thing, but I make it funny. In this, she just plays like a bitch. Yeah, you know what I mean?
She plays it very straight.
Yeah, which, even as a kid, I thought about this. I always thought that was kind of weird casting. Why would they cast a comedian just for this role?
I think it was just like maybe Jack Black and they,
That's what I was thinking. Like either Mike White or Jack Black was just like friends with her. And they're like,
comedians run in the same circles, and they're like, you're an actress, you want this part. And it would be kind of forced because she's pretty much the closest thing you have to an antagonist.
Yeah, but, I mean, in a weird way, she is funny. Just some of the shit she said, but it's not in a very intentional way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
or maybe it is. Maybe it's just genius comedy that's flying over my head.
I think maybe it is intentional because she's doing it like.
But she's not doing her usual Sarah Silverman bit. You get what I mean?
Yeah. No, they didn't catch.
It's very straight. It's very straight.
Yeah, it's just funny in that like she's just this control, and also it's funny the irony of her constantly telling him to stand up for himself, but yeah, she's the one that's like telling him what to do.
Yeah.
So and you get the irony of that really at the end too, where he's like, "How long are you gonna let people walk all over you?
Yeah.
Like you better not go." And it's like, well, you're.
Yeah. I do like in that moment he stood up for himself because he went.
So she's kind of funny in a more subtle way, I guess.
I didn't think about that. Mr. Ned has his own little character arc there too.
Yeah, he does.
Which is cool. I like that
because they call that out a lot.
Yeah,
like almost every scene he's in, you get like the "when are you gonna stand up for yourself" kind of thing. So.
But yeah, like I said, that's just something I even thought about as a kid because I had known who Sarah Silverman was from Comedy Central. That was back when she had her show.
Yeah, the Sarah Silverman show.
Yeah.
I liked the Sarah Silverman show. I liked her Comedy Central Presents or whatever. I used to be huge into stand-up. So yeah, she's fucking cool.
Not into stand-up anymore? I feel like stand-up isn't too great these days, honestly.
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, they hasn't been too much stand-up because
even like the classic comedians, like, I guess this is another tangent, but like you said, podcast, whatever. We can just say whatever. Yeah. Like, even when Dave Chappelle had to come back in those newer Netflix stand-ups, they weren't great.
I don't like really... I mean, the whole... What's his name? George Carlin?
Yeah.
You know how George Carlin, towards the end of his career, he was kind of just talking to the audience?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of stand-up comedy is kind of just like that now, where they're kind of just like... it's just so...
In a weird way, it's become kind of a therapeutic thing, which I think stand-up comedy's always been, but I feel like nowadays it's been taken to the max.
But I
think people are just like, yeah, my life sucks, and they just vent to the audience.
I feel like the real pros, though, they don't do that. Like, the real great comedians, they don't do that. Like, maybe they do it to an extent, but, like, that's why George Carlin is, like, he's considered one of the greats of all time, but once he starts doing that, it's like, this isn't great. But, yeah. Comedy's cool.
Yeah.
I was gonna mention though. What did it just real quick?
Maybe what I'm saying is I'm not a big stand-up comedy guy. I just dabble a little bit, I guess. So maybe I'm completely wrong. If I'm wrong, go in the comments and be like, so and so is a great stand-up comedian. So and so is doing great comedy. Anyway, School of Rock.
You want to talk about the show?
I was gonna say, no, I did not know until today. When I was doing a little bit of research before this.
Me either.
There's a show of it, apparently.
Like
was it on Nickelodeon?
Yes.
I know nothing about it.
Yeah.
Is it still on?
No.
Did it get canceled?
It was on, I think. I don't know exactly when it was on, but it's not super recent, I don't think.
I don't know anything about that.
Nah, it was just kind of like a... It was kind of like the... Yeah, but it was like a high school musical type deal where they just kind of like... It has nothing to do with the old shit. It's just kind of the same gimmick.
Oh yeah, they did the High School Musical show, didn't
Right?
they?
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, that's where Olivia Rodrigo comes from. Big fan, Olivia Rodrigo.
Congratulations on your success, Miss
Brutal is a good
Olivia
song.
Rodrigo.
Brutal. Listen to Brutal.
I've not heard any of her
It's
music.
brutal out here.
I don't listen to the radio.
Good song.
I don't know.
Good song.
Nothing against the radio. I just don't listen to it. So
Evan,
you know.
Evan, let me ask you this.
Yes.
What is your least favorite School of Rock character?
My least favorite?
Yes.
I like everyone in this movie.
Yeah, I think every single person does a good job.
I guess if I had to pick, like, Sarah Silverman just because she's mean.
Yeah, she's kind of mean, isn't she? No, I would pick the guy who kicks Jack Black out of the band. He's mean. He's mean.
Oh, no. I changed my mind. Yeah, I agree. That dude's an asshole.
That guy's on Broadway.
I like Sarah Silverman more than him.
That guy's on Broadway, too, by the way.
Something funny, though. There's something I kind of thought about, like, when I was a bit younger, but now, just that I know a bit more, it seems like, maybe I'm completely wrong here, but their band, especially at the very end when they're playing at the Battle of Bands, No Vacancy, they almost seem kind of like a parody of, like, Pearl Jam or, like, Stone Temple Pilots or something like that.
Or,
because he almost kind of looks like Scott Weiland. He passed away, but the singer of Stone Temple Pilots.
God rest his soul.
He kind of almost looks like Scott Weiland a little bit.
And then when you hear the music, too, it sounds like that shitty
90s
slow,
grunge, yeah.
Like, it sounded like
It sounds almost like, not Nirvana grunge, like the bands that try to copy Nirvana.
Well, who was, what's that band that does Hero? Is that
Nickelback?
Is that Nickelback?
Nickelback.
To me, that's what they sounded like.
Yeah.
They sounded like a Nickelback or like a shitty Linkin Park song or
yeah.
something.
So it's like post-grunge. What wrote off Nirvana.
Yeah, but Jack Black,
but more explicitly,
they
really,
rock.
yeah, no,
He
fact.
rock.
But really, they seem like a parody of like either Pearl Jam or Stone Temple Pilots to me.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm just not a fan of either of those bands. They're certainly not shitty, like, in a way Nickelback is or anything like that. But rest in peace, Scott Weiland, nonetheless.
Yeah, man. God rest his soul. God rest his soul. Evan, do you have any other thoughts on School of Rock?
I think I've said everything I've really had to say. I guess just on a personal note really quick, I should have mentioned this at the beginning, but you definitely know this.
Mm-hmm.
But some people who met me later in my life who know me now, they might not know this. I used to be a huge fan of Jack Black.
You're not anymore?
I still am, but back then he was like...
He's like your main guy.
Yeah. I think you know this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to fucking love Jack Black. He was like my favorite actor.
Well, you've seen Tenacious D twice?
I saw them once.
One time?
Yeah, I was going to say in the 8th grade. It was either when I'm going to 8th grade or going into 9th grade during the summer. I saw a Tenacious D live. That was awesome.
Kyle Gass?
Mr. Kyle Gass.
Why do you think Kyle Gass got a cameo? He didn't get no cameo. Where was he?
Why not? They fucked up.
Make him one of the teachers.
I think he has a cameo. I could be wrong. I feel like he has a cameo in Shallow Hal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, yeah, I just used to be a really big fan of Jack Black. So, and I had a deep love for this movie.
I used to be a really big fan of Kyle Gass.
I still am.
Did I ever tell you how to dream about Kyle Gass?
You did not.
I had a whole dream where, I won't bore you with my dream for too long, but
no,
it was really weird because, like, he was just, like, this weird, like, I knew he was Kyle Gass, but I wasn't like, oh, shit, like, cool, like, Tenacious D, I'm a fan. I was like, oh, like, why are you down here? Like,
Yeah.
we were in a parking deck, and he was just being really fucking weird. He was being really creepy.
Yeah.
So, Kyle Gass, stay away from us.
No, Kyle, you're awesome. I like him.
Nah, stay
He's
away.
He's really nice.
Stay away.
I assume. I assume he's nice. He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, he seems cool.
But yeah, so I just really loved Jack Black as a kid. I even went and saw, this was a bit later, I guess, because it was when I was like in middle school, so it was when I was starting to fall off him a bit, but I even saw Gulliver Travels in theater.
That movie sucks.
Yeah, so there you go. And I saw Shallow Hal when I was like really young, and that is not a movie like a 5-year-old should be watching, but I saw it when I was like 5.
I could not watch that movie.
It's not aged well. Dylan almost fell for you.
I did almost fall.
The comedy in that movie certainly, and the whole premise of the film actually just has not aged well.
Nah.
But anyways, we don't have to linger on that too long.
Yeah, hopefully we'll never talk about Shallow Hal ever again.
All my point is that I watched Shallow Hal when I was very young.
Just because you're a huge Jack Black guy.
Yeah, but you should not watch... God bless you, Dylan.
Excuse me.
You should not watch that film as a very young child.
No, you shouldn't watch that film at all.
At all, yeah.
Well, I used to like Jack Black a lot, too. Not as much as you did, but, I liked when he hosted the Nick Kids' Choice Awards.
Jack and back.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Jack is back.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
For sure, for sure.
Jack Black on a Nickelodeon.
Jack Black's awesome.
He said that.
He is. It's kind of sad. Nowadays, he ain't so awesome. Not in the way he used to be.
Jablinski Games is kind of funny.
I haven't watched any of his YouTube stuff.
A lot of his earlier ones are really funny because he keeps being like, his first 10 videos or something is him just being like, yeah, so we're gonna do this today, but we'll have the game stuff set up next week. And then he just never. It's called Jablinski Games, and he never plays games.
That is pretty funny.
It was really funny, and his kid is talented, because his kid edits the videos for him.
Oh really?
And they're like really good. Like they're better editing than I can do.
Well, the power of having rich Hollywood parents.
He does have like fucking Adobe After Effects at 10 years old, so there's that. But still, credit to him for being a talented editor. Yeah. That's pretty sweet.
That's awesome.
But they make his dad like floss and stuff. That kind of sucks. But they're funny sometimes.
Yeah, these days I'm not so hot on Jack Black just because he seems really normie-ish these days.
Getting a little out of touch.
Yeah.
A little out of touch.
I mean, he's older, so he's getting older now. But Jumanji, that's really not my thing. Who knows? Maybe when I was a kid, I would have loved the Jumanji reboot. But
you didn't love Gulliver's Travels, did you?
But by that point, I was already getting older because I was like 13 or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like he used to be in much better movies. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, School of Rock is a great fucking movie.
Yeah. Like, the last really good thing he did was, like, Bernie.
Yeah, that's true.
In my opinion.
Bernie was
like 10 years ago.
That was some Uncut Gems shit.
Yeah, yeah. And, like, same director as School of Rock, like we mentioned.
Huh?
So, yeah.
Oh, Bernie.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I thought you meant Uncut Gems.
No.
Evan, if you had to pick right now, what would be the next Jack Black movie we would do? Kung Fu Panda.
No. Tenacious D. In the Pick of Destiny.
We should do that sometime.
Yeah.
Deadass, we should do that sometime.
That's a really funny movie.
Or what was that movie you were talking about that came out before this?
Almost like School of Rock in a way, where I feel like it has more impact than people might think.
Yeah, yeah.
But we can get into that.
But I was just curious because I actually do want to watch it. What was that movie that you said came out before School of Rock where he plays a similar kind of character?
Oh, High Fidelity.
High Fidelity.
Yeah.
I'll have to check
But he's not the main character. That John Cusack's the main character.
He's not the main character?
No. He just works at the record store with John Cusack.
That makes me sad.
He's in it a lot, though. He has a good amount of screen time.
He's also in...
I think that was like his big breakthrough role.
Breakout role?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He kept that momentum going, didn't he?
He did.
Well, I guess that's all my thoughts on School of Rock, Evan.
Yeah, me too.
Evan, what grade would you give School of Rock? Just real quick before we get out of here. A+.
I give it like a solid A.
I give it A+.
A solid A. Works for me. There's not really anything wrong with the movie. Just I wouldn't say I love it to that level where I would give it an A+. But there's nothing wrong with it.
I give it an A+.
It's missing that little extra flair, that creative flair maybe that it would give it that A+.
Yeah, they're missing the dark Jack Black with the same superpowers fighting him at the end.
Yeah,
that's what they're missing.
For sure.
But I would give it 50 gold stars and an A+.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, this episode's a little bit shorter, but we want to try something different because so far when we talk about movies, like where we dedicate a whole episode to a single movie, we kind of go through the whole plot and we end up kind of wasting a lot of time, I guess, because we just talk about what happens in the movie. Yeah, you just read that on Wikipedia or whatever.
There's really no need to recount the entire plot.
Yeah, so we just wanted to try something a little bit different here.
I think this worked out better. I do think that format worked quite well for Battle Royale.
It did, because we had a lot to say about every single thing that happened in Battle Royale. Whereas something like Shrek, there's not always something to say. So, I don't want to sound pretentious, but I think for like maybe movies that there's a lot more to interpret in them, we could do that format. Because we'll always have something to say.
And then basically with a movie like this, come in with some notes, talk about our history with it, and just kind of go from there.
So I think it depends on what we're doing.
Yeah.
And we'll decide the format. But yeah, like I said, we just wanted to try something different here.
And I think it
worked out okay.
For this one, I think it worked quite well. Yeah, School of Rock is a great movie for that format.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think if we ran like scene by scene, this would be like twice as long.
Yeah.
And like a lot less interesting. So I think it was a successful experiment.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So yeah, thank you for watching. We always appreciate it when you watch. If you're hearing this part, I appreciate you listening to the end. It helps a lot with the algorithm and shit, and us getting recommended and stuff. If you, like I said, if you have any either horror movies for us to do in October here for Halloween, or any horrible movies.
Yes.
We want to do maybe we want to shit on something. So let us know. What's your least favorite movie? What movie would you like to hear shit on?
I think both of us kind of want to. I don't want to say we're in a comfort zone right now, but we just want to try something different.
We want to keep it.
Yeah.
We want to keep it varied.
Yeah.
So it's a good point, and I do like to keep it varied too, Evan. I think we're doing a bang up job. So yeah, like I said, if you haven't subscribed, you want to see more RNS, subscribe. Leave your comments about what I mentioned before about what episodes you might want to see. Evan, freaking play us out.
Cool Dylan fact number 1. Cool Dylan fact number 1. This is our new outro. Every episode, I'll give you a cool fact about Dylan. Cool Dylan fact numero uno.
I said play us out, and you played me.
Dylan is a huge fan of Doctor Doom. He has a Doctor Doom figure.
There you go. Actually, Doctor Doom, fun fact, Doctor Doom is my favorite supervillain.
There you go.
There you go.
Was I lying? I was not lying.
He was not capping.
Cool Dylan fact number 1. Thank you for listening. Bye, guys.